salesperson is essentially someone who's like the pusher man of the product, someone who gets it out in front of people, exploits its benefits, makes sure to show those real good, and hopes people will buy it.
I just doubled up on crypto. I just doubled down on the new vest. Now my check looking like 2 checks. Type of money made me want to 2-step. Who next? This week I be on the moon next. Stock going up like 2x. That's a fact.
A salesperson is a problem solver. And I think the definition of a salesperson is often confused for what it really should be. And that is someone who helps a buyer solve a problem that they have.
A salesperson is someone who can show you the value of a product or a service. Whether you need it or not, they're gonna show you that you do.
What is a salesperson? Man, that's kind of a tough question, right? Look, really what it comes down to is somebody has a problem and a salesperson is finding the solution to that problem. Right? That's really what it comes down to. You're a problem solver.
Traits or like what? I need more.
A bad salesperson is someone who makes the transaction all about them.
Trying to sell something to someone, you know, that they don't want it, and you're trying to push it on them. To me, like, that just rubs me wrong.
A bad salesperson is somebody who doesn't listen to what the customer needs and wants, and just talks and talks and talks, and doesn't actually help solve the problem the customer has.
A bad salesperson is someone that doesn't listen and sells you shit that you don't need and doesn't care if you don't need it.
A bad salesperson is someone who's lazy, someone who doesn't have the drive to continue reaching out to people, getting to know them, creating relationships. Not being able to do those things would definitely inhibit your ability to be a good salesperson.
Bad salesperson is a person who monologues rather than dialogues.
Is someone who is not trustworthy, someone who doesn't always provide, doesn't show you the value of what you're getting.
Pushy. They don't actually speak to your problem. They don't have listening skills. They are trying to sell you something that's not a good fit for you. Well, I just got fired. At least that's how it feels every time. I don't know, I'm not necessarily getting fired just because a client decides to bring Amazon services in-house, or maybe they don't have Marknology in the budget anymore for some of these smaller brands. Maybe we're not getting results. This particular instance today was just a lady I've been working with that we've been trying to help. We worked together 3 months through the holidays. We made some improvements, but she came to me at the beginning of January, was like, Andrew, I need Marknology, I need a whole bunch of other things. What do you think I should focus on first? You know, I can convince her to stay with us and, you know, just convince her that we have more work to do, more enhancements, more things we can do on Amazon. You know, but that didn't feel like, I'm not just trying to keep her business, I'm not just trying to take a check, I want to see her win. And I told her I think that she should pause with Marknology, and actually not pause with Marknology, but pause Amazon services. And so I laid out a roadmap for her, and then hopefully in a couple months come back to us. So I got fired, but I kind of asked her to fire us, or suggested it, so that we can win in the future. That's the kind of type of owner I'm trying to be, the type of company I'm trying to be is, you know, honest, tell people how it is, tell them what they need to do to win.
A good salesperson is usually really good at picking up girls.
Someone who can build trust and relationship very quickly. I think those are key components to any sale.
So a couple weeks ago, we added a new product on our website. It's these Delta 8 gummies, and let me tell you, they are selling like hotcakes. The cannabis industry tends to be very trendy, and right now these things are all the rage. Literally, all of the orders that I'm filling today have bought the largest quantity of these gummies too. It's just incredible.
So am I a good salesperson? No, not at all, actually. I actually hate making sales. I hate sales pitch. I hate the whole thing. And, you know, our philosophy with our company anyway has been just have a good enough product or a good enough company to where you don't have to make sales. Like, the sales just make themselves. So I'm a horrible salesperson. Part of our business is actually designing the houses we're going to build, and I do that myself. and it's pretty much a crucial part of making the sale, if you will. Nobody wants to buy a car they've never seen, and nobody wants to buy a dress they've never seen. In the same way, nobody wants to buy a house they've never seen. And so without building it, we have to be able to describe what the house is going to be like through other means. I use a CAD program that allows us to do like a 3D walkthrough, also has 3D images. I'll sometimes even furnish the house, put the cars in the driveway and the pictures hung on the wall so that the client can get a really good picture of what it is that they're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on. And I don't blame them, but that's been a big part of us doing better as a business, is learning to do these plans ourselves and do them well to make the sale. I design all of the houses we build, and that was to solve a problem. It turns out architects are expensive. They take a long time to design a house sometimes, and sometimes they don't design them with cost in mind or the builder in mind, like they design homes that are really difficult to build when they don't need to be. And this is a free service for the people that I build for, because that way I know everything about the house. It's easier to price that way, and we don't get stuck building something with some surprise. You don't like surprises when you're a builder.
So I think a really great salesperson is one who listens to their customers first and then finds ways to highlight the value in the product that they're selling so that it speaks directly to the consumer.
Today is all about funding. One of the struggles that we have had at InnovateHer KC is that sustainability piece. We've done a really great job of building community. You know, I think that our programs and the things that we're doing, we offer some really deep impact. I've spent the past couple of days reaching out to folks that I know are really invested in what we're doing. And that's actually one of the most important things that we can do right now, is find those people who are invested in the InnovateHer KC message and what we stand for and how we support women leaders. So reaching out to them, establishing some touch points, because you certainly don't want to go in and be like, hey, you know, haven't talked to you for 2 years, give us some money. So I have been reaching out to some folks that have been hugely supportive of InnovateHer KC in the past. I'm really kind of looking forward to having 2021 be a little bit of a fresh start for us as far as funding is concerned. We just have a lot of really, really interesting areas of opportunity and challenges that we need to overcome there.
A good salesperson is usually really good at listening and understanding the problems that people are having, and then figuring out how to solve those problems, overcome the objections that the customer has.
Well, it's that time of year. It's time to do planning for 2021. It's always fun to think about, forecast, think about all the cool things you're going to do the next year, product enhancements, sales, growth, all those things. And then half of your sales team quits. What a way to end 2020, the dumpster fire that it's been. Planning 2021 is a little harder when half your sales team quits, but welcome to the reality of being an entrepreneur and planning.
If I was going to describe a good salesperson, it would be someone that can listen to the problem, listen to the objections, and answer those objections with truthful solutions that provide value for the potential customer.
A good salesperson is personable. They're not pushy.
A good salesperson is slightly pushy,
confident, and make you feel like they're going to make all your problems go away.
I think we're oftentimes afraid to call ourselves salesperson.
My name is Matt DeCourcy, and I am a salesperson.
So am I a good salesman? Shoot. Honestly, maybe it's imposter syndrome, maybe, I don't know, but I don't really see myself as a good salesperson. I think I'm developing the skills and I'm becoming a good salesperson. 2021, the objective was simple: sell shit. My role is the marketing and sales guy. Last week, it was $444 sales direct from the podcast. This week, $966. I call that a win. So let's see what we can do next week. It's just a matter of getting out there and talking to people, right? Every single day. It doesn't matter what profession you're in sales. You're married, you're in sales. You're a teacher, you're in sales. You own a business, you're definitely in sales. Track your stuff, work on your pitch, offer, make as many offers as you possibly can, and you'll see results.
I consider myself to be a good salesperson because I've learned to listen for the problem that needs to be solved. And in addition to that, I try to identify and source other issues or things that could come up that the potential buyer has not considered. Full Scale sells tech services. That doesn't mean a whole lot to most people. Like, what is tech services? There's an issue and a problem in the United States that businesses that employ programmers or software developers run into, and it's that we just don't have enough of them in the US. In fact, it's really bad. There are about 400,000 open IT jobs in the United States, which has created a ridiculous supply and demand economic whirlwind. In order for a business to be successful, they need to have the people and resources required to get to where they want to be. And they also have to be able to get those services at a price that makes sense for the business. When it comes to supply and demand, it's the one law of business that you just simply can't overcome. So if you have a huge supply and no demand, you're not going to make any sales. It's just the way it works. Now, if you have a huge demand and not enough supply, the price shoots up. Because of that, the price for software developers and programmers, especially in big markets like in Silicon Valley, New York, and other places, it's astronomical. So businesses have to begin to go find the resources that they need. That's what we help people with at Full Scale. So when I say we sell tech services, we sell programming help. How are we able to find it in and around a market where supply and demand's way out of whack? We go to another market. And that's why we opened an office in Cebu City in the Philippines. Full Scale helps other companies build teams of software developers, but they do it in our office in Cebu City in the Philippines.
I am a really great cheerleader. I am not a great salesperson because, as I've previously mentioned, I'm not really great at asking for the sale, but what I am great at is exciting people and getting them invested.
So one of the things that was my happy duty the other day, I had to ask for testimonials. So, you know, as a nonprofit corporation, which InnovateHer Incorporated is, one of the things that we have to do is we have to communicate our benefit and our value to our stakeholders. You know, if you're a B2B or a B2C company selling a product, you know, you're able pretty easily to explain like why your product is awesome and it's the best thing ever and you should totally buy it. We have to approach things a little differently. And so we have to have both quantitative data that talks about the impact that we're making in the lives of our members. And then we also have to have qualitative data. And there's this big push and there's this big like content strategy around storytelling. And so I needed a little help in that vein. You know, I can talk about the benefit of InnovateHer KC all day long, but it's going to have so much more impact if we talk directly to our members and hear from them about how InnovateHer KC benefits them. So I've been collecting I think I may have mentioned I've been collecting testimonials about InnovateHer KC for our annual report at the end of the year. And Katie, hi Katie, she just read me hers because, you know, she's right there. And it made me cry and it made me very happy. So I just wanted to share that sometimes being an entrepreneur makes you cry happy tears.
I consider myself to be a good salesperson most of the time. I'm a really good, warm, good salesperson. I'm not as great with cold leads. I do have a good ability to read people and develop relationships with them, but it's so hard to do in like a cold call setting or reaching out to people who you have to kind of explain a little bit more about the product. Once I know someone's interested in, say, CBD, I definitely can talk to them, and I'm really good at getting them to purchase the product that's necessary for their needs.
I do consider myself a fairly good salesperson. I'm passionate about our products and what they can do for people and educating people on how they work and how they're going to better their lives.
Let's see. No. So a couple cool things happened yesterday. I reached out to 2 connections on LinkedIn. I have such a hard time being like, hi, I'd love to connect with you because of blah, blah, blah. But I also reached out to a local bar called Pawn and Pint here in Kansas City and just said, hey, I've done a couple of live mixtape events. Would you guys be interested in brainstorming, putting one together? And they responded and were like, yeah, man, let's talk about that. That sounds cool. So I sent them kind of a loose structure to what a live event would look like. I've done a few before. I did one for Boulevard Beer and their team. It was rad. So it's like, I need to do something positive for Mixtape, both for myself personally as an entrepreneur. A lot of closed doors lately. So I need a win, and I think the best way to do that is to get it in front of people, play it with them, talk with them about it.
I actually consider myself to be a very good sales engineer and salesperson a little bit, but definitely a really good sales engineer. A sales engineer is somebody who's an expert at the product that can work with the customer and the sales team to figure out how to best deploy the solution, figure out what the customer needs, handle more technical sales part of the sales process.
I think that I'm a good salesperson. I think that I believe in what I do and what we do, and so because of that, that's communicated through my pitch. I think that I put myself in the shoes of who I'm selling to, and I know their problems, so I can specifically speak to them. And I'm not pushy. That's not my type. So I think that makes a lot of people comfortable, especially in a space like a marketing space where a lot of people overpromise and underdeliver.
I think the role and type of salespeople has changed a lot. I think it's very different from the type of industry that you're in. So for example, at Stackify, we might have people that are cold calling and just trying to set appointments. And then you have people that are just doing demos, and then you have people that are actually trying to close the deals. It's also very different if you're doing enterprise sales, where it could take weeks or months to close a deal. So I think sales is just very different from one industry to another and one vertical to another.
I just doubled up on crypto. I just doubled down on the new vest. Now my check looking like 2 checks. Type of money made me want to 2-step. Who next? This week I be on the moon next. Stock going up like 2x. That's a fast flip like suplex. 2 really stepping like a duplex. You bet never lose change, but I do flex on it. All black with you, my coupe on.